What up? My name is Krims or Joe, and today we're going to be putting the end to a very controversial debate. Does it take game knowledge or game experience to beat a game? Can you know how to beat a game and be considered knowledgeable on the game because you watch YouTube videos on how to beat it and how the game works and how the game mechanics plays? Or does it take game experience by building up repetition and muscle memory and playing the game a lot? Does it take game knowledge or does it take game experience? With all that being said, let's dive right into Inscyption. Inscyption is a annoyingly complicated game. Here's the breakdown of it. There are 3 different parts. The first one, which is in the cabin, which pretty much you have to just unlock puzzle pieces, unlock all the cards that you need. Once you beat him, and he has 3 lives, by the way, which is the most any boss has had in this first act, you can finally take a photo of him and lock him away, allowing you to be able to start a new game. Then you are stuck in an 8-bit RPG where you have to fight each single one of the 4 scribes or whatever. And then you have to go to the factory where your ultimate goal is to prevent the release of the master code or release the master code or whatever the hell it is. It's really complicated. So, can I beat this game with a 6-hour time limit, or will I ultimately fail? So I'm pretty sure we want to get them as much over damage as possible. I want to go for the Sparrow. Sparrow's weaker, but overall I think it'll be a bit of a trade-off. We just gotta place. That means that any one of their guys can fly. Now it'll, okay. So that was a scripted death. Luckily that was scripted. We just gotta, I just want to like speed run through my way through this. I would love another permanent killer cap, but it doesn't help us in the long run. So we're gonna go for that porcupine. I don't want to sacrifice another card. I'd rather just go by a campfire.
Several song-filled hours later.
Inscyption seemed like a relatively simple game on the surface. I thought the first act would have been just to collect as many strong cards as you can and as many single blood draws as you can. I thought it would more or less be a walk in the park, but after playing the game like this, I learned that all my research was wrong. 4 hours of research led me down the wrong path. During those 4 hours, I had an in-depth understanding of what cards did, what each ability did, and what each boss's strategies was. Alongside that, I learned all of the puzzles for this game. Boy, was I wrong. After a bit, I had to take a step back. With a 6-hour time limit and more than half of my time down the drain, I wasn't making much progress. Nearly every time after attempt 5, I was making it to the final boss of Act 1. But every single time, I was failing. I didn't know what I was doing and I was lost. So, I decided something needed to change. So, I got in contact with a pro. So what the f*** am I doing wrong?
Alright, we got a grade A dumbass over here. Alright, so, the problem is that we want to minimize inconsistencies in this game. It's a game about randomness and about chance. So realistically, if we want to win, we want to have as little of that as possible. The more we can minimize it, the better we're doing. So going around and collecting every card you might think is a great idea. You know, it initially seems good. It's like, oh, these are secrets. Secrets give me good stuff, right? Unfortunately, it's the exact opposite in this game. Having a large number of cards actually really pumps up your draws because they have a mechanic to keep you from breaking yourself on turn 1, and that is that you will always draw a 1 cost every single time. Every single time that you draw, you will always get a 1 cost without fail. And then the final method is absolutely busted squirrels. And that's probably what we're going to want to go for, because once you've opened Pandora's box, so to speak, and you have everything, it is significantly easier to just hunt down an undying totem or a fecundity totem for your squirrels to make it impossible for you to lose because you can just put too many cards on the board.
So what you're saying is I can cheese it.
Exactly. We're gonna cheese the shit out of this.
Let's go! The plan was simple. We had two plans, actually. The first plan was to be the funnier of the two, where the whole objective was to try and cheese this first final boss. We would try to only have one card that would costed 1 blood, and we are guaranteed to draw turn 1 because of how this game mechanics works. Then from there, we'd run through the final boss like it's nothing. Or the second plan, which was to just make our deck as cracked as possible. I'm glad that we got as far as we did, and we actually managed to have beaten the first act of this game. Holy I've never gotten this far. I researched a completely different strategy. Wait, Gek does 1 damage. Idealistically, we would want greater smoke. This is ideal. We got such a busted set this time. He has 12 health. This is crazy. I destroyed the moon. I suppose all that's left is to finish me off. Go on. No way. No way. Holy shit. Wait a minute. What the fuck? Now that I'd beaten the first act, I had to beat the other two, which were much, much, much harder. I was confident and had my hopes up, as my research was a lot more in-depth for this. I was making amazing progress. I had swiftly beaten the first boss of this second section, which actually was the final boss of the last act, but he was way weaker this time. But then my worst fears hit me. I ran out of time, so I accepted it. It's funny, I was talking heavily to my cousin's friend, Jackson. Shout out to him, because he's the reason why I made it as far as I did. Because for the first 3 hours and 40 minutes, I thought, oh well, I can just, full force, and I just need a crap ton of cards, and he told me, and pretty much just told me the meta. Damn. That's really frustrating. I guess that's how the cookie crumbles, I guess. So I guess we'll have a part 3. I guess we're gonna have a part 3. Until the next one. Peace.